All right, everyone. Good evening. Happy Monday, and welcome to Nerdcamp Sports. I'll be moderating tonight. Got Coach Will, R&B in the building. Hopefully, Rods will join us soon, and hopefully he's all right. Because he haven't heard from him today, but that's all good. Scale of 1 to 10, my brothers. Mental health today. Where we at?
I'll say about a 5.5. About a
Okay.
5.5. I ain't too high, ain't too low. I'm in the middle, like J. Cole. That's a bar. Hey, that's a bar. That's a bar. That's a bar.
What about
um,
you, Will?
say a seven. Say a
Okay.
seven. Got
Okay.
some good news today, and some motion on a couple things. So
All right.
weather was nice today. So yeah, seven.
Yeah. We had
Oh,
good.
breaking news. We gonna have to add this one in here. Bulls cut Jaden Ivey following anti-LGBTQ comments.
Oh,
Just hit my timeline. Just hit my timeline.
oh boy.
Bring it back,
Well,
Detroit. Look.
I mean, hey, you brought it up. We could start there, um, or we could transition if you want to give your list first. But before today, I'm at like an 8. I had a good day at work. The weather was nice
What's up,
here
man?
today. Was able
That's
to
what's
get
up. I'm
off.
glad to hear that.
Appreciate it. I was able to get off at a decent time and get on here. So, now we ready to talk some sports. So, R&B, if you have your list handy, let's do it. Your small
All right,
forward.
bet. I'll give y'all my small forwards real quick because I didn't get to give it last week. I do have the list handy. I won't be long. I'll just run through it.
No worries.
So, um, my small forward list. At number 10, I have Carmelo Anthony and Vince Carter as 10A, 10B. At number 9, I have Paul Pierce and Grant Hill, 9A, 9B. 8, James Worthy and Scottie Pippen, 8A, 8B. 7, Kawhi the Claw. 6, Havlicek, 8-time champ. 5, Dr. J. 4, Elgin Baylor, Mr. 27.4 points per game, 13.5 rebounds per game for a career. Uh, Number 3, Kevin Durant. Number 2, Larry Legend. And number 1, LeBron James. LeBron James.
I gotta say that I gotta give. I graded last week. I didn't give a list, and hell, I didn't even
Mhm.
write the power forward list I was supposed to write for this week. This week was so busy. Um, like it just got away from me this past week. I just worked 12, 13 hours every day. It just got away from me so quick.
I
Um,
get it.
I gotta say, I'm just glad the consensus on all three lists were the same. Because everyone really gave homage to everyone. So you're gonna get an A today, my brother, for that list.
Yeah, see, cheating can get you ahead. Son.
I'm gonna get well. No, everyone else had their 1 A's and 1 B's, or their A's and their B's. I think Raj
Yeah.
even had a C in one of his potentially, but I
Damn.
tell you, and I'll tell you, I lost the paper. Raj had the best list he's had, and he did not troll. Like
Really?
he
Really?
had
Whoa.
his list was on the money for once. I told him, I said, Raj, I gotta give you an A+. The A for the list and the plus because it was you did not troll, you didn't throw anything in there that wasn't supposed to be there. He was like, well, small forward's my favorite position. I said, I don't care. You did the right thing. You did it right. You did it right, Raj. I was proud of him in that moment. That's all right. He'll mess it up next week with the power forwards.
I was just about to say, where the hell is Raj? Because I,
I don't
I
know.
definitely want to hear his power forward list.
I don't know.
But yeah, that was my list. That was my list. It was as always. It's hard to. just come up with 10, especially when it comes to these basketball positions, because man, there's just so many, greats and
He said,
stuff like, huh? I thought you were saying something.
No, I'm
But
sorry.
yeah,
My wife was just saying she's you can leave it open if you want. Still light out.
okay.
My wife was just saying she's leaving, and then when I thought she was done talking, I unmuted myself.
Well, no, you good.
But then she was like, "I
No,
love
I
you," and
just
I didn't want to just say "love you," and then you guys like, "What the fuck?"
like,
I do love you, but I just didn't want to be like,
Say, look, it ain't coming home no more. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. It ain't easy to compile these lists and stuff. Like, for instance, the power forward list. It was tough, man. And I'm gonna give y'all one honorable mention to show how tough it can be. LaMarcus Aldridge, 20,000
underrated,
points.
underrated.
20,000 points. Don't really have a lot of other accolades, a couple all NBAs or whatever, but 20,000 points is 20,000 points. You know what I'm saying? And that's just
Absolutely.
how hard it can be to compile these lists a lot of the times.
I don't know. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I don't want to get us sidetracked and shit, but is going to the Spurs the worst career move he ever made? Should he have stayed in Portland with Dame?
I say no, because he did play with Dame in Portland, and they got upset in the playoffs a couple times. I think the worst
They only
career move
played.
he
They
ever
only
made.
played 2 years together.
So one of those years they got upset in the playoffs.
No, one of those years
It must have been
one
the
of those
second
years
year.
they upset Houston. That's when Dame hit his first walk off on Houston
It was somebody
in
they
the first
lost to that
round.
they weren't supposed to lose to when he
You know
dipped
what I'm
up
saying?
out
But
of there.
they only had 2 years together.
I get where
They-
you're going. For me personally, when it comes to LaMarcus Aldridge, the worst career move he made was being a crybaby when Kawhi Leonard stepped up to take the mantle from Tim Duncan when he thought it should have just been given to him.
That's why he went to San Antonio, because Dame came in and they was leaning towards Dame because they saw it in Dame. So
Yeah.
that's
And he went there to kind of take the mantle from Timmy. He thought he was, but Kawhi
Kawhi
became
became the
Kawhi.
Kawhi.
But I definitely, to see how Kawhi went on to progress to be who he was, which they did play some, few seasons together there in San Antonio. If LaMarcus could have just got out of his own head, man, he might have a chip or two with Kawhi in San
Shit.
Antonio. He might have him a chip.
If Zaza don't get up under Kawhi and fuck his ankle up, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, well,
Like,
you've heard me
it's a,
debate
it's
that
a,
a bunch of times.
it's,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it's a good chance they win that year. It's a good chance they beat Golden. I ain't gonna say a good chance, but they got a chance to beat Golden State.
for sure. For sure.
So let's before we get into the comments, let's talk about this game from yesterday. So from what I know, that UConn Duke was up by 19 points at one point in the second half, or the second half.
The whole game, but yeah, the second half, at the point of the comeback, they were up 19.
Not only did they lose the comeback, they made a stupid turnover, and they launched a deep three, a Steph Curry three, swish to lose this game. Lord, I mean, R&B, what are your thoughts on the way this game ended?
We'll know this, man, because me and him watched the second half of the Michigan route yesterday. Go Blue, Final Four, baby.
Oh, motherfucking
And
blue.
bro had to shake, but he knew that I was very anticipating watching UConn and Duke. I actually like Duke. I've always had a soft place in my heart for Duke. I don't really got nothing against UConn either, But if I had to pick the two, I definitely, would have wanted to see Duke win. So I sat there and I watched that whole game from beginning to end, and it was very anticipating for me because I felt like that was going to be probably the best game of this tournament. And until next week proves me wrong, that'll still be up in the air. Or, until next week has a chance to prove me wrong, that'll still be up in the air. But as of right now, that is the best game of this tournament so far than what I saw last night between UConn and Duke. Let me tell you, Shire is a good basketball coach, college basketball coach. But Hurley, he's a great college basketball coach. And it showed last night. I mean, if there was ever a time where I could watch a basketball game and felt like it was a rope-a-dope going on, you know what I'm saying? Like last night was it. From the beginning of the game, Duke came out firing. I mean, they got UConn down. UConn shot like they were shooting horrible to start the game. I think it was like 3 for something at one point from three, like 3 of 13 or some shit like that. Like they couldn't find a three. But they had one bright spot. They big man Reed, who was actually a U of M transfer from Juwan Howard's last year. When Juwan Howard got fired, he transferred to UConn. Um, dude showed up, man. He showed up, showed out as a big man, and he kept them in the game. He delivered some body blows, not just scoring, but his rebounding and man, his passing. I have not seen a big man make some of the passes that he was making last night at that size since Shaquille O'Neal. And if you know anything about Shaquille O'Neal and his passing, outside of a Joker, what I'm saying? Joker's that's an anomaly, what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm gonna just take him out this equation. Shaquille O'Neal was a hell of a passer with the things that he
Underrated
could
passer.
do. I think Joker is more that face-up passer. You know what I'm saying? Shaq could back you down and what I'm saying, shit like that. So some of them passes that Reed was making last night, man, to his guards and his smart wings as they were cutting in when he backing down and he throwing, you thinking he about to go up and he just nice little bounce pass. He played a hell of a game, man. So hats off to him. Hats off to Duke too, because they played a hell of a game. I think the bigger Boozer boy kind of got exposed a little bit. Hurley did a good job of keeping Reed away from him into the second half, purposely to keep Reed out of foul trouble because he knew that Reed was going to be their strength and that they needed him to be on the floor. And then once all of the marbles started to get tight, that's when you start seeing more Reed and Boozer matchups, and Boozer ain't really had nothing for him because he's more of a finesse power forward. He kind of like his father. He's a finesser, and he didn't really have nothing for that big bruiser. So it was a good game, man. Hell of a comeback. I definitely think Duke let it go though. They collapsed because they had, I want to say, if memory serves me correct, they had like 16 or like I want to say like 13 turnovers, and that equated to like 16 points, and they blew a 19-point lead. So for me, I'm gonna have to say that that's a collapse. But it was a great game, man. That's what March Madness is made of.
Yeah, I mean, to lose a game that way, that close, when you were in control, is never feels good. But all they can do now is learn from that loss and do better, play better to allow that. I mean, but when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Like UConn was just like, nah, this shit's ours. Like they like we taking this. But Will, what are your thoughts on the game?
Again, I didn't watch the whole game. I was literally pulling up to the crib. You know what I mean? As it was like ending, Ryan was calling me like, "Man, you watching this shit?" And so, like I said, I saw the highlights or whatever. I haven't actually watched the game. I say this: I feel like Shire had them prepared. They broke, you know what I mean, the trap. And I don't necessarily feel like it was a bad decision to try to make that pass because the two that came in trap bruiser at the end was their last line of defense. If he makes a better pass, if he just float that shit over their head, you know what I'm saying, and get it to the other side of the court, you know what I mean? It's two wide open Duke players. Whether they lay it up, whether they try to run it out, whether even if he just float the pass, and now they got to fight with, you know what I mean, Duke for the ball. More than likely, they don't end up getting the good shot off. You know what I'm saying? So, having said that, it could be that. And again, you know, Ryan, you tell me because you watched the whole game. It sounds like that's Cam Boozer, right? The power forward.
Cam is the power
Yeah.
forward. Peyton is the guard.
You say he was struggling in the second half?
Cam, yeah. Cam was struggling in the second half.
So maybe
struggling to win his matchups against Reed. Everybody else he kind of bullied, but when they specifically put Reed on him, he didn't have nothing for him.
Well, only reason I'm asking is because maybe he didn't want to go to the line. You know what I'm saying? Which is why he rushed it and threw a bad pass. But maybe that could have affected, you know what I mean, the choice he made in that moment too. Because, you know, we know a lot of players that would have just, you know what I'm saying, wrapped the ball up and took the foul.
Yeah.
But and you know, I say this too, it ain't no guarantee that they get a foul. If he try to wrap it up, they might get a jump ball because it was still, you know what I mean, once they got the ball, it was still 6-7 seconds left on the clock. And my man had time to get the ball on the wing, kick it back out. Like it was ain't no guarantee, you know what I mean, they get a foul in that situation either. I just feel like if he'd have made a better pass, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, yeah, there's a lot of, you know, basketball is definitely a team chemistry game. Like it's not just so much about just playing on the field. You got to really have chemistry in order to have success. And it seemed like yesterday that wasn't the thing. But with that said, I'm gonna keep it moving. So I just opened up this scorers list, bro. This Bleacher Report scorers list, and now I got a migraine. Like
it's diabolical. They need to stop doing lists because they're not good at it.
Well, you know, okay. I'm gonna tell y'all my opinion of a scorer is a player rather, who they can do different things, but they know how to make baskets in more than one way. They can do it from anywhere. Like for me, Kevin Durant is a scorer. Yeah, he can do other things, but the man knows he can put 50 up on any given night. You know, Jordan was a scorer. You know, obviously he did a lot of other things, but he was a scorer. Now, to me, they got Steph Curry number one on this list. Can he score the basketball? Yes. However, to me, just my opinion, he is a shooter, right? Like shooting does equivocate to scorer. But it's just, and I don't have an issue with him being there, but him being number one doesn't fit the mold. You know, if that makes sense.
And I'm a Steph fan, but no.
Yeah, like you know, Durant 2, Jordan 3. Why is Joel Embiid on this list? What, like what we got? LeBron 5, SGA 6.
I'm about to be irritating, but it is what it is. Any list you come up with, and you talking best pure scorers, and you get out of the top 5 without mentioning Kobe Bryant's name, is disrespectful.
Yeah, isn't he like 10 or 11?
Top 15 list that you make that's supposed to be pure scorers, and Carmelo Anthony's name is not even on the list, I'm not even about to pay attention to the relevance of that shit anymore.
Wait, he wasn't on there? Hold on.
Carmelo Anthony is not on this list.
Hold on.
One of the most purest buckets we've ever seen.
But Karl Malone is.
I don't have a problem with Karl Malone being
Shit,
on.
Karl Malone is what, number 4 on the all-time list or
Yeah,
shit, some shit like that?
yeah.
Number 3?
I don't have a problem with Karl Malone on there.
No, I don't have a problem with him being on the list at all, but it's just like Melo, like you said, like, like here it is. Yeah, it says they got like some painful omissions. Wilkins, Adrian Dantley, Dirk Nowitzki, and Carmelo Anthony also nearly made the list. But it's just like, that makes sense. Like it's just like it's bad. And these people, and what's sad, bro, is that these people who sit here and write these articles are paid a lot of money to do this and get it wrong. Get it wrong. Like you said, like Kobe 10, like 10? Like, how does that happen? 10.
Shit, I'm still trying to put eyes on this fucking list. I see a bunch of videos.
I'll give you a quick read off of it real quick. Because I got it right now. So I'm gonna give you a quick read off. Let me get back to number 15. So number 15 is Karl Malone.
On the side.
14 is Donovan Mitchell. 13, Shaquille O'Neal.
Wait.
Kyrie Irving.
Wait, hold on. You said Malone. You said Mitchell. Who was after
14,
Mitchell?
yes. 13, Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay. That's
12,
fucking
Kyrie
crazy.
Irving. 11 is Giannis. 10 is Kobe. 9 is Joker. 8 is Luka. 7 is the Iceman. 6 is Shea. 5 is LeBron. 4 is Joel Embiid. 3 is MJ. 2 is KD. And as he said, 1 is Steph.
Wait a minute.
So they got some good names on there, but
wait a minute. Give me the rest of them after Iceman again. My bad.
6 was Shea.
Okay.
5 was LeBron.
Okay.
4 was Embiid.
That's fucking crazy.
3 was MJ.
Okay.
2 was KD.
1 is Steph.
And 1 is Steph.
Was it any like in the last how many ever years type restrictions on this or post merger or any shit like that, or was this just like the straight up and straight down all time list?
It's straight up to straight down all time list because they got Iceman on here. So if it would have been any like with the merger or anything like that, or like maybe just going modern era, he wouldn't have made it.
I don't see nobody old. So like first name that come to my mind is Wilt. Like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm asking what I'm asking. Okay.
I don't see nothing that say
wait, and Kareem is not on this list?
Kareem is not on this list.
I'm more pissed off about that shit. Kareem and Wilt not being on this list than Steph being number 1. I can make a case. I can make a case for Steph being number 1. Don't mean I agree, but I can make the case. Like in a very, very fucking good one.
They don't even hold on. They don't even have Wilt as an honorable mentions. They top honorable mentions are Dame Lillard, James Harden, Dominique Wilkins, Adrian Dantley, Dirk Nowitzki, and Carmelo Anthony. How you create a top 15 pure scorers list and James Harden not even on the list? A dude who we all know what this dude did in Houston. it was a point in time where people were sitting up trying to debate, is he a better scorer than MJ and Kobe at the 2 guard spot? You know what I'm saying? And he didn't make this list either. Man, this list is blasphemous, dog. Okay, I do
Indeed,
see honorable mentions Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem too.
ain't no fucking way. How the fuck you was the all-time leading scorer for what 30-something fucking years? Like,
And you're not even on the list.
Nigga, this is fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar we are talking about. That is fucking crazy.
The more I read into it, it's saying that they were going by per possession numbers. And it said also meant potentially cutting out 2 of the top 8 in total points scored since they're only tracked back to 73-74 campaign. Wilt Chamberlain retired just before then, and several of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's best scoring seasons predate the per possession averages too. See how they like to throw all this bullshit in there to take credit away from some of the GOATs and stuff? Like, come on, man. Like, we got to go with this per possession shit. Why can't we just go off of what we see and what the numbers are?
We talking about
that bothers me.
We talking about the Bleacher Report top 15 list, Raj. They did a list of
what up, bro? What up?
What's going on?
They did a top 50.
What's that?
Oh no, you're good, bro. You're good. Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. I was having trouble getting on. I don't know. I have to get a new phone, but it's all good.
We're here. We're here. We was just talking about the Bleacher Report put a list of the top 15 scorers. So we were just talking about how pure scorers, how diabolically wrong it is.
When I hear there's like a addition to scores, when they say pure scores versus actual just saying just scores, there's always some BS behind it. And I'm saying that because I heard a little bit of the conversation you guys are having when I was trying to get on. If Kobe Bryant's name is not on the list or in the top 5, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to any other people that's in the top 5, but I'm just saying, like, let's be honest. He's one of the best scorers we have ever seen. Carmelo Anthony's one of the best scorers we ever seen. James Harden's one of the best scorers we ever seen. If you look at the scoring from the 1980s all the way to the 2000s, and then you look at the 2000s all the way to the 2026, there's no comparison. From 2000 all the way to 2026, there's more scoring, people scoring 20 plus every single night between the 2000 and 26, more than any other decade combined. So we got to be 100% like clear about this kind of stuff. This is some real stuff that's basically controlled by stat nerds. They're out there controlling the narrative, and I don't like it. I don't like the fact that we got to separate pure scores from scores. Did you score the basket or not? That's the question. So I just don't agree with none of these type of lists, especially Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report has been on like a tear when it comes down to bad commentary.
Bad lists.
Bad lists. They've been doing it for past 5-6 years, I could say. They've been terrible at creating lists.
Yeah.
I do subscribe to a score and a pure score being something a little bit different. Not necessarily. It's not even necessarily like greater than per se, but like somebody else that's not on this list that came to mind. 2 of them, T-Mac and Vince Carter. And again, like we can this list, like we can make this list for fucking ever, like you know what I mean. But it's just like it's when I think of a pure score, it's not like it's a certain level of making it look effortless. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain level of just like I think Kobe was and obviously again, I feel like Kobe should be like much higher on this list than they got him, but I feel like T-Mac was more of a pure scorer than Kobe was. Kobe was so technical in his game, you know what I'm saying? Like he kind of willed himself into that space. T-Mac had some natural gifts that Kobe just didn't have.
Didn't
and
have shit.
kind of like KD, but
16 shit.
more athletic. I think me and Ryan had this conversation before. Like we, T Mac and KD athletic, but more, of a shooter. T Mac, you know what I mean, skilled, but had more of that explosive athleticism, but still like just had like that silky smooth game. Like I do think it's a little something like John Stockton could get you buckets, but John Stockton, I wouldn't call him like a pure scorer. But if he wanted to drop 20, 25 on you, he could do it. You know what I mean?
Let me
So
help you, bro. Let me help you. I think the perfect analogy in this just popped in my head. I think we all here would agree when we think pure scorer, we think Kevin Durant. But then when I think a scorer, I think ISO Joe. Pure score, Kevin Durant. Score, ISO Joe.
That's fair.
Both bucket getters, but just one, like you just said, one can just do it in his sleep. One got to work a little harder, but he can get your ass in that ISO.
Hey, but you know what? You know who might be the face of being a pure scorer? My nigga Jamal Crawford, J Crossover. Not a Hall of Famer, but when you talk about just getting a bucket, nigga dropped 50 in his last game and had played how many years in the league? 18, 19, 20 years or some shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you talk about just being a bucket, the pure scorer, he one of them dudes I think of too.
Lou Will, Lemon Pepper Lou.
Yeah.
Dope. Like I think I could put him and make an argument for him being a pure scorer.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like a great. That's why I say it's not necessarily like a greatness thing per se. It's more about your game to me. You know what I'm saying? And then when we start talking about the greatest in that group, then we gonna obviously lean to the people who are great. But I don't know. This is just a stat to me. That's all it is. It's a stat.
Yeah.
We gotta. These lists are going to be. They're always interchangeable. But like sometimes you got to put the right people, and and they don't ever do that. And the fact that they're paid to put the wrong people, like these people are like different versions of weathermen. Like the weatherman can be wrong every day and he can keep his job. These idiots can be wrong and keep their job. So I don't know. I just I don't know. I just keep doing what I do. Hopefully one day we can, people who actually know a little more than these people on TV can have something to say.
Keep them coming though, Bleacher Report, because they give us something to talk about.
That's true. So while we're talking about people on TV, I want to just help me out. I want you to start this R&B because I know you are much more knowledgeable on what's going on than I am with this specific topic right now. So apparently Stephen A, Jason Whitlock, and Cam Newton and Ryan Clark is in there too, or in some bit of a I don't know. I don't know. It's just a lot going on, and the only reason I didn't see it from the jump, so I don't know what part's the beginning, and there's just so much this and that. So just for me and and the viewers, what kind of just give me a breakdown of what's going on, and then we can kind of debate about or talk about it.
So I make it quick on the breakdown. I'll just give y'all a quick backstory. Basically, last week, Cam on his one of his YouTube podcasts, 4th and 1, he had Jason Whitlock on as a guest, and Jason Whitlock came on to basically kind of talk about his beef with Cam Newton. Not necessarily that they had a beef with each other, but what I'm saying, basically he brought him on to kind of talk to him. He wanted to know why he felt the way he felt about certain situations when it came to himself, as in Cam Newton. And so in the midst of their conversation, names got brought up about different things, and Stephen A. Smith's name was brought up a time or two. Ryan Clark's name was brought up a time or two within the interview, and apparently Stephen A. Smith didn't like some of the stuff that Jason Whitlock had to say about him, and he kind of responded to it on his YouTube show. And then, according to Cam Newton, these words out of his mouth, Ryan Clark texted him about, you know what I'm saying, the interaction with Jason Whitlock and so on and so forth. And again, this came right out of Cam Newton's mouth on his platform. He didn't know that though Ryan Clark texted him, that Ryan Clark also had went public to Twitter and basically, you know what I'm saying, and I'm paraphrasing, he basically said, dude gives you a job to come on his show 2 times a week and you stab him in the back by bringing his enemy on and you know what I'm saying, talk trash about him on your podcast. And so Cam kind of, you know, he said, you know, he took the high road for the most part. He wasn't gonna engage into, you know, ignorance with Ryan Clark. He more so wanted to try to, you know, take the high road. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I think you got the wrong impression type thing. And from seeing everything perspire and actually watching the interview with Jason Whitlock, I definitely side with Cam on this one. I gotta say, I think Ryan Clark, I think he doing too much. I know we share a name, the reign of a king. That's the meaning. But hey, I gotta side with Cam on this one, man. I think Ryan Clark was just maybe just seeing things how he wanted to see it, or just seeing it the wrong way, which a lot of us can do that at times. It wasn't anything to defame Stephen A. It didn't even have nothing to do with Stephen A. His name just ended up getting brought up in the midst of the conversation, but it wasn't regularly when it first came up. It was not for like a negative reason or anything like that.
Right.
It was just a conversation that they were having. Jason Whitlock was really going at Cam Newton. He was going at certain things that he didn't like about Cam Newton and how he felt like he could be, you know, this next big role model in football, or the next big podcast, you know, role model. And I would say definitely, if you find the time, it's only about an hour long, just go watch it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think it was one of them things where Ryan Clark seen some things that he didn't like because he may have heard something that he didn't like. And instead of looking at the whole picture, he gathered his one thought off of, you know what I'm saying, he tunnel visioned it. It was like, boom, I don't like that. And then he started going for Cam publicly, and then it led to this whole little back and forth between all 4 of them, basically. And that's kind of how it went down.
I'll say this, and there's 4 of us on this show, and we do this show every week, and we do it for fun, you know, and all that. I don't like to see 4 black men who are on the level they're on attack one another. I don't like it. I will say that you guys all know I am a fan of Stephen A. A little less these days now, but you know, the brother has inspired me in certain ways, even with just doing what I do on a podcast level. Jason Whitlock, he's to me, he's Black Skip Bayless. He's an idiot. He just says things that, like, bro, why are you?
I disagree. I think Jason Whitlock get a bad rep because black people, and I'm not saying he don't say some ignorant shit sometimes, because he do. They all tend to say some ignorant shit sometimes when they in the media and shit. But I think with Jason Whitlock, and I'm not saying all the time, some of the times it's one of those things where black people just don't want to hear bad shit about black people. They don't want to hear the truth about themselves, so they shit on that man because he tells some truth. I give him that. Yeah. I'm not a fan. He get on my nerves, but he tells some truth, and that's one of them things where black people just don't like to hear the truth.
Yeah, you're right in that degree. I just, and I think really the only reason like I can even agree with that sentiment is because I only see him talking when he's saying some shit that's like ignorant, like you know who. I've never heard someone say I'm gonna go watch Jason Whitlock. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've never heard that. Cam kind of, I don't know. Like, I like Cam, and I think he's doing good and trying, but he's still, to me, just trying to find his place, like, in this world a little bit, like in terms of like the media world. As for Ryan Clark, he's all over the place. Dude can be really calm, cool, and collected, and then be on a million. But ultimately, my thoughts on this whole thing is I just don't like seeing black men really, you have platforms to talk to sports, say what you have to say, and you're just using it in a way for negativity, because like you said, I did watch a piece of Cam Newton's portion and he took the high road. He was like saying something about starting with love or positivity, something like that. And that's what the world needs, in my opinion. And I'm going to finish with this and then pass it to whomever wants to speak, Roger, Will. I believe that the world needs more love because there is not enough of it today. Everyone gets upset over everything and everyone hates this. We're going to get into some comments after this topic that you had brought up from Jaden Ivey, which will go into what I'm saying now. But the world needs more love. And we don't have enough of it. Everyone is a hater in their own way, and it's sad, like it's sad. I just don't get it. I just hope that they can resolve it and they can move forward from it and go from there. I'll leave it at that.
Go watch it though. Go watch that
I'm
Cam
gonna
Newton
watch
and
it.
Jason Whitlock interview.
I'll watch
it. It was good. It was good.
Probably won't watch it tonight, but I will watch it tomorrow. You said it's on Cam's show or it's on Jason Whitlock?
Yeah, 4th and 1.
4th and 1.
Fourth and
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I'll tap into it probably tomorrow.
Few thoughts. I haven't watched the Whitlock interview. I watched what Cam had to say about Ryan Clark and Stephen A's reactions to all of this. As far as Whitlock go, like I don't fuck with Whitlock. And I say the same shit about him that I'll be saying about Stephen A or any of these people that get on TV and discuss, all these different things. Like it ain't always what you say, it's how you say it. You know what I mean? And when you get on national TV and say shit, like it ain't I feel like it would a lot of times he just be on some fuck shit. Like that's period point blank. But it do be some things that like if I ain't saying he gotta kiss nobody ass or nothing, but the way he words shit, the words you choose matter. You know what I'm saying at the end of the day. As far as Ryan Clark, I watched him I watched the Pivot. They did a little, piece discussing this situation. One of the things Ryan Clark did say was like, it ain't for me to tell Cam how to do his show. I can feel whatever kind of way I want to feel about it, but it ain't for me to tell him how to do his show. He did acknowledge that. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. I find it interesting that he got a problem with this because Stephen A. got Stephen A. got everybody's enemies coming on his show. You know what I'm saying? To talk shit about, they enemies. You know what I mean? Like he the biggest motherfucking.
Didn't he just go on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn and talk shit about LeBron?
About LeBron in front of Melo, right? Like you see what I'm saying? Which is one of them things that Cam and them had acknowledged. And one of the things that Cam said the shit that I've been saying. A nigga said, how the fuck you gonna make your living talking about people and they get mad when people talk about you? What you like to say, Ryan? You know what I mean? With great responsibility, what's like what's the phrase you always use?
To whom is chosen,
to
much
whom,
is expected.
So that shit applies to Stephen A too. You know what I'm saying? It don't just apply to these athletes and shit that you be talking about. But you want to get in your feelings and shit. You know what I mean? When somebody out here got something to say about you that you don't like. Like you can't have it both ways, especially if you keep saying we number one. We got the highest rated show and all that shit. Well, then, nigga, everybody ain't gonna love you. Just like you be saying, everybody telling LeBron, everybody ain't gotta love him. Everybody ain't gotta love your ass either. You know what I'm saying? And just because Cam worked, quote unquote, work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. It's a good look for Cam, but Cam was the reason he's there is because Cam was already doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't do Cam no motherfucking favors. He felt like it was going to be a mutually beneficial situation for the both of them. You know what I mean? So Cam, like in the realm and the arena that they operating in right now, in that media space, Cam don't owe him shit. You know what I'm saying? If it would have been different if Jason Whitlock would have just been getting like belligerent and disrespectful, and it's like, oh, hold on, bro. Like, come on, like, you know, we ain't doing all of that. You know what I mean? But Stephen A went on his motherfucking podcast and called him all kind of fat bitches and you know what I'm saying? Threatened to put hands on him and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, Cam learning.
Hands on LeBron though.
Hey, again, that's the same nigga that said, I'm at the game. Don't nobody pull up to, and then when LeBron did, it was a problem, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what Stephen A do. You know what I mean? He want to say I'm Stephen Naismith. You know what I mean? I cover the game. You just watch the game. I cover the game. You know what I'm saying? But when you wrong way more often than you right about shit, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, so I just thought that I agree with most of what Cam had to say. I still got to go back and watch the Whitlock interview. You know what I mean? Because I do want that context of exactly, you know, what made Ryan Clark say what he said and everything. But man, look, Ryan Clark and Cam about to do a motherfucking podcast. You know what I'm saying? Cam gonna go to the motherfucking pivot. Ryan gonna show up on 4th and 1. You know what I mean? Like, this shit all about to be, you know what I mean, the next thing to keep the machine moving. You know what I'm saying? It's all content, man. At the end of the day, ain't like they about to fight over this shit. It's all content.
It's all content, baby.
Well, before Raj hops in, I just want to say one thing I always heard, and I think R&B, you and Will can appreciate this as wrestling fans as well. Back in like the early 2000s, around like 03, 04, Eric Bischoff had a book called Controversy Creates Cash.
Yep. Yep.
What?
And I'm about to go into that a little bit deeper. Let me just say this real quick, fellas. And this is something I've learned. The older I get, the more I understand it. That as Black men or as Black people, we are not just one type of people. We are all different types, all different ways of thinking, all different ways of doing things. With that being said, I love this. I absolutely love this because we need different thoughts. We need different people to put out those different type of energies, and we also need people to be exposed. With that being said, it's COE, content over everything. If you guys know about this whole entire beef, this been going on for a very long time. But Jason Whitlock been one of those guys that was respected before he left ESPN or got fired from ESPN. I'm not sure how it went, but since he's been with Fox, they pretty much gave him the treatment that they gave Max Kellerman. You know, they pretty much said he's not even worth listening to. And with that being said, they blackballed him, exactly. And that's the thing. It's kind of messed up because we know that Stephen A. Smith's a company guy. We know that Stephen A. Smith controlled the narrative over there at ESPN. And don't be surprised if Stephen A. did not mention or call Ryan Clark and say, putting that word real quick about how Cam is doing some wrong shit on the internet. Because that's the type of person Stephen A. Smith is. He's that type of person to throw a rock and hide his hand. And I'm not saying that he's not somebody that's smart and brilliant in what he does, but when it comes down to getting back, he's probably one of the worst when it comes down to trying to expose people and trying to kill their name. Remember, this is the same dude, and I said this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, that pretty much killed Kwame Brown's career. And I stand on that because I can tell you, if you go out there and watch any other rookie that's not Black, that's actually performing and just trying to learn the game, he wouldn't even speak no negative thoughts about them at all. He'll say, oh, they're still developing, they're still learning. But Kwame Brown, not even a whole 2 months in, he was saying that he got small hands, he's the worst draft, he's the worst number one pick you've ever seen. Stephen A. got to pay for that. He got to pay for that.
Hey, you know who he was speaking for when he was saying that, right?
Who's that?
MJ.
Mike?
You know
Oh yeah,
what
no doubt, no doubt. I
you
know,
know what
I
I'm saying?
know. Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And the organization out there in what do you call it? Washington
Washington.
D.C. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because they wanted him off the team. They wanted to get another player. I think they wanted who did they want? Corey Maggette or something?
They wanted Elton Brand.
Elton Brand. That's what they wanted. Yes. So they was trying to finagle that, but that's my point. Stephen A's known as a narrative controller. He's the one
Mm-hmm.
that controlled the biggest market, the biggest share of people listening. And now, since we got the internet, you got people like Cam doing the show. You got people like Ryan Clark with the pivot. You got all these ears and eyes watching these other types of shows that's not ESPN. So now it's becoming who can take up the market share with more hot takes. And that's why I respect everyone's take on this equally, because someone like Jason Whitlock, even though I don't personally agree with a lot of shit he says, he's still knowledgeable. He's still somebody that got his own platform. And it's because he was forced out of ESPN and low key he was forced out of Fox. So with that being said, guys, I love it. I love the controversy. I love the fact that they're going back and forth. As long as it doesn't end up violent, I'm all with it, because everybody got to speak their piece.
Real quick, I fuck with Jason Whitlock more than I fuck with Stephen A.
Me
Why?
too.
Reason why? The reason why is because I pay attention to who cry wolf. See, Stephen A. He cry wolf a lot.
Yep.
The shit for him to be going all off on the tangent the way he go off, that they say a hurt dog a holler.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, they say a hurt dog a holler, bro. I don't fuck with Jason Whitlock like that, because he do be on some sometime cornballish Uncle Tom type shit, which they kind of touch on a lot of this shit on 4th and 1 on the episode with him and Cam. They do, but at the same time, it's a reason why he's blackballed away. It's a reason why whenever he speak on Stephen A feel the way he feel.
Yep.
Because Stephen A don't like being exposed.
Mm-hmm.
None of the top dogs like being exposed. So now it's gonna come. I'm telling you, it's gonna come up to a point where Cam gonna have to pick a side.
Yep.
Watch my words.
Yep.
Cam gonna have to pick a side.
I don't fuck with either one of them. I think they two sides of the same coin. They just go about it different ways. I think both of them motherfuckers be, you know what I'm saying? Like Raj said, throwing rocks and hiding their hands. I think they both do. You know what I mean? Again, if you gonna put this shit out here publicly for everybody to consume, when you piss people off, you got it. Just like we say, you know what I mean? When you win and we give you your credit, when you lose, you got to take the blame. You know what I'm saying? When you right, we got to acknowledge that. And when you on some bullshit, we get to tell you that shit. I think they just two sides of the same coin. I don't fuck with either one of them.
Yeah, well, your comments and things you say, like I always say, freedom of speech ain't free.
It ain't fucking free.
Absolutely. You're right about that.
Perfect segue.
Comes with a price.
Perfect segue.
And that's why Mr. Jaden
Perfect.
Ivey has been cut by the Chicago Bulls. Apparently, and he made some comments that were not liked, and I've got it right here in front of me what he said. He said, the world proclaims LGBTQ, right? They proclaim Pride Month, and the NBA does too. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month to celebrate unrighteousness. Man, oh man. Now, one thing that I know is you have to tread lightly with this community. If you say the wrong thing, you will be canceled faster than a check. And prime example that I had there's a battle rapper that's from up here, and she is someone's TV is real loud.
and it's very show that they can't show it today. And I know that some of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hear a very loud TV. But I had a.
My shit on mute.
Is no one else hearing that?
I heard it. I don't know where it's coming from.
My TV's off.
Yeah.
Is it a back echo?
No, it's just.
I hear echo.
No, it was.
You hear?
I don't hear an echo. All right, it went away.
Yep. All right, fuck it.
Yeah, it went away now.
I hear echo every time I say something. Something is
Yeah, I'm
All right,
not
there we
hearing
go.
an echo. Okay.
That's the feds listen.
So
they like, let's see what these niggas got to say about this shit.
now
Cancel
that they know we on to them. So I had a trans battle rapper on here. Goes by the name of Cassius Clay, and she's transitioning from a male to a female. And I had certain questions that during that interview that I wanted to ask, that I didn't know how to ask. Like I had to really be careful how I worded the questions I was trying to ask. And that's just something that comes with the territory. Now, I don't know how you guys were raised. Growing up for me, I wasn't around a lot of gay people and all that. Like, not all that.
Let's say
but
different.
Like,
Let's say different.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't around any of that.
The G is in there, bro. I think we okay.
Yeah. So, growing up, starting to, like, to me, when I started seeing it in like high schools, when I started seeing like men dressed as women, right? Didn't understand it. Didn't understand it. And you kind of deflect on that once you see it. Like, it's just like, yo, keep that away from me. I don't want to deal with that, right? But as I grew older, I started to understand, like, people are going to be who they are, which leads me back to what I was saying before about leading with love. There's nothing wrong with you love who you love, you're going to be who you're going to be, regardless. As for him, this is bad. I can understand the Bulls not wanting to be behind that kind of message. Maybe him thinking in his mind, he's thinking, oh, well, I'm just saying how I feel. But sometimes, like I say, freedom of speech ain't free. Hopefully this doesn't end his career, in a sense, but he gonna need some real good damage control to get through this, because those comments, teams ain't gonna like them. That's just
Man, he ain't gonna need no damn damage control, Mike. All they gonna do, I'm gonna tell you, it's either one or two things. Either his career is over, or they're gonna force him to make this bullshit ass apology, and whatever the case may be, in order for him to get back with another team or some shit like that.
AKA my brother, damage control.
Yeah.
No, true damage control is when you actually change from a situation of feeling a certain way. When prison actually reforms you, which it don't reform everybody. Some people just go and come back as who they are. Some people go and come back reformed. But when it comes to a situation like this, I mean, me personally, I don't personally have any issues with what he said, but I do understand that he's an NBA basketball player, and unfortunately, when you sign those contracts, you held to a certain
standard,
a certain expectation and shit like that. So I'm gonna sing a song for y'all real quick. If you ever seen it, sing along. But gentlemen, freedom isn't free. It costs a healthy fucking fee. I don't know if y'all ever seen Team America World Police, but but goddamn it, freedom ain't free. It costs a hefty fucking fee, okay? And he fucked up by putting some shit like that out on IG. Like y'all know me well enough to know how I think somewhat in my views and stuff. Like I literally, if I was the owner of the Chicago Bulls, I'd be ready to give them the max. Fuck cutting them. But unfortunately, we are not the owner of the Chicago Bulls. We are not the ones that are in control of this shit. The people who, the name started with the J, who a lot of them are in that letter community, if y'all catch my drift, you know what I'm saying, are in a lot of ownership, a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to play the game, another song reference, BJ Chicago Kids, we all play the game, some just don't play the same. If you ain't willing to play the game, you better get out of it, because trying to straddle both sides and make you go insane. Another bar for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Another bar.
He's on fire. I got to jump in real quick.
Go for it.
Let me just say this real quick. First and foremost, prayers go to Jaden Ivey. I want to pray for his mental health, because he's been struggling with depression. And you know what? It's funny because he mentioned that about a month or maybe 2 months ago. I believe he was on IG talking about he's suffering from depression, and he's having issues with his family and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. So there's something there. But what I want to also say is that, I've noticed a trend, and this actually happened to me in my 20s. When someone goes to go through these type of like twists and turns in their life, and they're kind of like becoming of age, or I call it rites of passage if you want, and they start looking for some type of guidance. They'll either go to church or they'll join some type of group, and then they'll get so filled with that word or filled with that message that they go out there and they just spew whatever comes to their mouth, comes into their mind, out their mouth. And I feel like that's what Jaden Ivey have done, but he also forgot who he works for a second. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a moment of him just trying to just live his truth and say what he feels, but he's also fumbling the bag at the same time. So it's kind of like one of those things where you got to just turn your camera off. Just turn your freaking camera off. If you feel this way, friends, family, people that you care about, say it in front of them. But when that camera goes live or that camera goes record, you are no longer just responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your team. You're responsible for the people that that works for you, and so on and so forth. I'm not saying that he can't speak his truth, but there's ways of doing it. There's ways of relaying that message. I'll give you a prime example if you guys are ready for this. It's ironic that he gets fired for this, right? Or gets waived, whatever you want to call it, for speaking against the LGBT community, but yet they're okay with going against Magic City being the Atlanta Hawks game, and them not putting those girls out there and allowing them to get those chicken wings to be produced in the hoodies. I just don't understand, where are we going with this? We're going to talk about sexual orientation. Why can't we have Magic City at the Atlanta Hawk games? You know what I'm saying? Because hey, we keep teetering the line of that anyway with the cheerleaders and stuff. But we also know, once again, like Ryan was just saying, there's two types of people you don't talk about, and one of them being the small hats, and the other one being the alphabet boys. That's it. You don't touch those things. If you want to get canceled, touch one of those topics, and I guarantee you they'll cut your line off. So with that being said, like I said, I pray for Jaden Ivey. I hope that he can find some type of balance in understanding how to relay his message, and plus also be a company guy. But also I want to say this, guys, and this is real talk. I want to say, living your truth is your truth, and it might not be somebody else's truth. So we just got to just let it go. We got to focus on the bag as much as we can. And if we really feel like we can't and there's too much on us, then just step away from the game. And I'm not saying us, I'm saying like athletes, brothers that's in the game. Because what I've noticed is that people crash out and they fumble the bag big time. You got to look at the big picture. So shout out to Jaden Ivey, man. I hope that he finds balance, and I hope that he can find a way to get back into the NBA, because he's one of great talent. And also I want to just add in, his mom played in the WNBA for a very long time. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, his mom played in the WNBA for a very long time. So there might be some trauma there
Mm.
that's unidentified. You get what I'm saying? Because there's they celebrate that in WNBA like it's Tuesday. So there might be something there that he's really hurt about. So that's all I gotta say.
Mm. You gonna did you add in here, Will? I don't remember.
No, not yet. Um, I don't think Jaden Ivey wants to play basketball right now. Um, Raj was speaking on it because that's one of the things I was gonna mention too. Just like I know his mental health is in shambles right now.
Mhm.
If I had to guess, they probably gave him the opportunity to apologize for what he said, and he didn't want to. Um, he's about to be a free agent, so if he was really concerned about the bag right now, I don't think that you know what I'm saying? I don't think that that's the option that he would have chose. I don't even think that's where his head is at right now. I don't even think he got no confidence in his body, in that knee. You know what I'm saying? It don't sound like this is where his head is at right now.
Mhm.
We all work for who we work for, man. And if we did something, I know I work for the city of Detroit. They tell you when you take that job, like, man, be careful what you put on your social media because you can lose your job for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's not just basketball players that this applies to, or NFL players or whatever the case may be. It's everyday working motherfuckers too. You know what I mean? That you just have to be conscious because shit, you represent certain people. You have certain positions, you know what I mean, with them. So um it don't even always have to be about what you like, what you don't like, who can and can't what. Just sometimes it's just about being fucking professional. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just about being professional, man. Um and I'll say this too. We all know that if Jaden Ivey was healthy and balling right now, we wouldn't even be having this fucking conversation.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's hurt and he hasn't been productive and he's, you know what I mean, hasn't lived up to his potential. So he's dispensable right now. So if he was a healthy, productive player, we wouldn't not saying that he wouldn't be in trouble or he wouldn't have to, admit it, offer an apology or whatever the case may be. But he dispensable right now. So and I don't mean that to be an asshole. It's just like the reality of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to add one thing. If you guys give me 1 second, okay? If you juxtapose what Jaden Ivey said and then what also Charles Barkley said when he went off script and said that immigrants built this country, why isn't Charles Barkley not fired from TNT and ESPN? I mean, was it CBS, CBS, and ESPN? Why isn't he fired for that? He talked against the president. He talked against people who are foundationally the founding people, also known as the Black Americans who built this country for free. But yet he's not canceled. Why isn't he canceled? Why didn't he get a call? That's the question I want you guys
You
to think about.
can I answer that?
Sure, go
Per
for it.
se, y'all might not agree or
Mhm.
whatever, but can I answer what you just asked?
Go for it.
The reason why is because the powers that be, they don't give a fuck about what Charles Barkley had to say. You know why? Because of us. Because we don't give a fuck about what Charles Barkley have to say. Hey man, real quick, the good book says it that once we completely destroy you, which mean our people, right?
Hmm.
The yoke of iron will be removed from your neck. They removed the yoke of iron from my neck a while ago
Mm.
because we are completely destroyed. And that's why Charles Barkley is not canceled because they don't give a fuck about what he had to say, because we don't give a fuck as a people about what he had to say. It's an agenda here, brother.
That's good. That's
The agenda is the agenda. And if you stray away from it, it's consequences and repercussions.
fact.
They don't give a fuck about us learning no knowledge, but they do give a fuck about making sure your son want to, play around with his friends. And I just leave it at that.
So, a lot of talk recently about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And if you're SGA, it ain't very good. One of you guys had sent in the chat a video of Anthony Edwards.
I did. I hate this.
Pushing off, creating space, and taking a shot. Doris Burke was reporting that night, or doing play-by-play.
Yeah, she was doing color commentary.
Yeah. Thank you. And then said, as OKC fans are about to hate me because they say that SGA does this every night. She said, I see it every night in the NBA. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander does this night in and night out and doesn't get that call. So, R&B, I'm going to let you start on your feelings about this particular topic.
Man, dog.
Wait a minute. What exactly was it that she said? He does get the calls or he doesn't get the calls?
So, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. You want me to break it down, or you gonna break it down?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
So in the clip that I shared, it's a play from last week where Anthony Edwards is driving, and you know how sometimes you get that extension to try to create space. Yeah. Same thing we see SGA do all the time, and either he draw a foul off of it, or it's just a no call. He get the space.
But with the off arm trying to.
Yeah. Okay. So Anthony Edwards picked up a call on that one, an offensive foul, and he got mad and he started going at the ref. And Doris Burke had said, what Mike said, saying OKC fans will be mad at me for saying this, but I see SGA get away with this same move night in and night out and never get that type of call. And that's just what it was. But just to get my analogy on it, man, I like SGA. I like SGA a lot, man. He's kind of reminds me of like a modern throwback superstar. Like he just kind of remind you of somebody that you would see playing in like the Kobe and Shaq and the Tim Duncan era, like one of the like he would fit in there somewhere, right? But it just hurts to see him get this foul bait in the way that it is, and they claimed that they had took this out of the game. Remember, they completely took this call away because they got tired or stuff like this. So they say away because they got tired of Trae Young constantly manipulating foul calls, as they say he was doing. Like it was him and it was somebody else. I want to say it was him, Chris Paul, and Steph.
James
Harden was one of them as well. That they were saying they were like manipulating these foul calls. So what I'm not understanding is if it was that way for them, then what's the difference with SGA? I'm not understanding it. Like, why is the rules different for him? So you know what I'm saying? Which when you get to talking about the league, having a fingerprints on stuff and wanting stuff to go a certain way, people will say you crazy for that shit. But this is why people think these types of things, because it's like, why are the rules different for SGA? I like him a lot. I'm a fan. But why are the rules different? So why is he constantly getting away with these manipulations of foul calls? I don't understand it. It's been, and OKC is on TV a lot. They on TV Absolutely. A lot. Some of the calls that this dude is getting right now is like, bro, come on now.
Do you mind if I
Go ahead.
I'll tell you why. And it's funny you guys mentioned Anthony Edwards, because Anthony Edwards is not the NBA's cup of tea. SGA is exactly what the NBA wants.
Him and
Wemby. They're foreign. They're not
/ OKC in San Antonio.
Yes, they're
like no, for real, all of that.
Yeah, they're a small market team, right? That nobody wants to visit in real life. Nobody says, "Yo, I'm gonna go to Oklahoma City for a vacation." Nobody, right? Okay. Nobody says I'm gonna go on vacation to San Antonio. Shout out to San Antonio, but no one says that. But my point of
They
saying
got
that
some big
is,
old women out there in Malibu.
you
You
know,
beat me to it.
you know, they got churros too. You know, all that shit. You know what I'm
The
saying?
Riverwalk is
Just
beautiful,
a
but
little
don't nobody want to see
churro.
them big women.
You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say they want to push this small market type vibe, and they also want to push the player who's not as quote unquote ghetto as Anthony Edwards, because SGA dressed like a fashion model, aka Metro guy, right? And Anthony Edwards is a real dude from the hood of Atlanta. That's why these calls are being allowed, and that's why he's getting away with this stuff, because they want this foreign market to take over the NBA. Look at the past 10 MVPs. Look at the past uh uh the team that they put together with the international team. You got all the top 3 players in there that's foreign. You got SGA, you got Wemby, you got Luka Doncic, and who else did I miss? Nikola Jokic. Those top 4 guys are all foreign.
And Giannis.
And Giannis.
I mean, but I don't think the NBA designed it that way though.
I do. I honestly believe they did, because there was a moment when they criticized someone like Allen Iverson for bringing cornrows to the game and the way that he dressed, and they had to change the whole entire dress code and say it was too ethnic, it was too urban. They stopped people from wearing hooped earrings and all this shit, jewelry and stuff. They stopped all that when they did the what do you call that?
The dress code.
The dress code rule.
They put a Coach Carter rule in effect.
Hell yeah, they said you gotta wear suits. For what? They took away the individuality, and now they're allowing this dude to wear a full Chewbacca suit. When did they change that rule? When did that rule?
I mean, well, you know that, but you know they got rid of the dress code though.
I
Yeah,
understand.
they did get rid of the dress
They
code.
got-
What I'm saying is, why didn't they bring the dress code back? That shit is horrendous. A whole full Chewbacca.
I get what Rod's saying. Rod's saying when it was too urban with AI, we needed a dress code. But now that it's more metrosexual with SGA and Russell Westbrook, where they were dressing like football motherfuckers with the short shirt or tight and dresses looking shit. You know what I'm saying? It's okay.
It's
an
fine.
agenda.
Exactly. That's my point. It's an agenda. And there's an agenda with OKC. Don't ever get it twisted. How many draft picks did they get in the past 7 years? They got everybody's draft pick.
That's because everybody keep making trades with them. The NBA is not forcing these GMs to make, like, the Clippers gave them what, 3 picks, 4 picks for Paul George. They got how many ever picks they got for Melo when they traded him. They got whatever picks they got for Russell Westbrook. They got Sam Presti is arguably the best general manager in the league, and he running laps around niggas. I don't think that's like Adam Silver playing 2K and sending all of these draft picks to them.
I think it is. I'm telling you, I know. I might be on my conspiracy shit.
I
but
wouldn't go that far with it. I wouldn't go as far as Raj.
OKC.
When I say OKC, it's an agenda with OKC. I'm looking at the interview last week where Jalen Williams finally had, we all know he had been struggling with the hamstring. He finally got back, had a good game. I think SGA missed that game. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, we all know old boy from Philly, that Philly drafted, the one who liked to paint his fingernails. He was standing behind him with his arm around him. Yep. And so Jalen Williams was like, "Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Get your hand off my back, or put it up if you gonna have it, put it up higher or whatever." Mm-hmm. And so it was weird. And then he put his hand up there, and of course he got rainbow colored fingernail polish all over it. That shit weird, bro.
That's my point.
Shit weird. That's all I can really say about it.
And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. If you don't think there's an agenda in the NBA, just watch the NBA. That's the reason why people don't even want to watch it anymore, because they're doing so many underhanded stuff between the gambling, uh, foul calls, people getting away with different things. It's getting ridiculous out here, man. Basketball is not what we used to love and appreciate. It's so different.
So with that said, and I want to just really segue to the
Oh,
video.
I didn't get my chance to speak on this.
Oh, well, go ahead.
Um, I feel like I want to choose my words carefully. I want to choose my words wisely. Um, the NBA it's never been called by the book. There were Jordan calls, and I'm not talking about like the Jordan rules. I'm talking about like, you know what I mean? Jordan got favorable calls. Um, there were a lot of times where Shaq was getting fouled way more than they would blow the whistle, but they would tell him they couldn't give it. They would, you know what I mean, officiate him different than they officiated everybody on the court. We talk about regular season calls versus playoff calls because they call it tighter. Well, you know, you get away with more in the playoffs. Like, it's always been this kind of fluid thing. You know what I'm saying? And some of it is just because block versus charge. Sometimes that's subjective. You can tell me whatever rules, but sometimes it really is like a, you know what I mean, split second call, split second decision. So I'm just saying all I have to say, like, I ain't even talk about right or wrong. It's just like the NBA has always had, in some sense, like these different calls that take place at different times for different people in different situations.
I agree. That's why
Even if,
Rasheed Wallace is blackballed in social media.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's shit. We can go back to the fucking conference finals in what was that 2002 when the Kings, you know, as much as I love Kobe and Kobe is my guy, King should have won that series. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude played all the way from the end of the third throughout a double overtime with 5 fouls and never fouled out.
Shit, and that happened to my Pistons in '88, the Phantom foul in Game 6. After Isaiah went crazy on the sprained ankle and should have went down with the greatest finals performance in history. You know what I'm saying? And we got that bullshit foul and Kareem got 2 free throws and we lost the series in 7 because Isaiah had could barely fucking play. Like, this always been an issue with this kind of shit. Even shit, what traveling is has changed over the years. What carrying is has changed over the years. You know what I'm saying? When it was Isaiah Thomas and Tim Hardaway and John Stockton, you had to keep that bitch in the box. When AI came in rocking niggas, remember they was calling him for it at first, but eventually, you know what I mean, they eased up on the rules. Even now, like the gather step and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas have been shooting setbacks forever, but James Harden changed it with that fucking gather. Like, it's always this, you know what I mean, these moving pieces, you know what I mean, and to some level subjectivity to basketball that don't necessarily exist, or at least not as much in like football or baseball. Baseball is pretty much black and white, you know what I mean? Fair, foul, strike, ball, you know what I mean? Out, not out, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. It's a lot of subjectivity to basketball and the way that they call the rules.
That strike zone.
Well, it's not supposed to be subjective. You know what I'm saying? It's like, in theory, it's a defined, you know what I mean, square there. You know what I mean? But you depending on human eyes, you know what I'm saying, that can't really keep up with the baseball like that. And you see now that they got that new shit that's tracking it, you know what I mean? People getting a lot of pitches overturned now. They got my man, they tried to get him on back-to-back pitches the other day. I think that was Boston and whoever it was they was playing. You know what I'm saying? He had to call for the replay back-to-back pitches. You know,
that wasn't the Yankees.
No, that was a
real question for all three of y'all, real quick. I want Will to answer first since he was the last to go. So I agree with what Will's saying. But what I want to ask y'all is, have y'all ever seen it with a player where it's this bad? Because these some of the worst calls I've seen in over 20 years now. You know, we all old enough now to where we can sit here and say, like, over 20 years plus of watching the game as a Pistons fan that done seen some bad calls from going to work Pistons and shit like that. I seen Chauncey Billups go to the lane against the Miami Heat and get up with a bloody lip, and no foul was called. And I ain't never seen no calls as bad as what I'm seeing with SGA on a lot of these games right now.
Well,
I ask y'all, have y'all seen it?
Go ahead, Will.
This is what I'm gonna say. When it comes to, have y'all ever been to an NBA game and been like super close to the court? You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's different up close than it is watching it on TV, right? And you see more. You know what I mean? Especially like the little shit, the little dirty shit that niggas do, grabbing the jersey on the pick, shooting a little elbow. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. I feel like part of it is we see more now because we got fucking HD and 4K, and you know what I mean? And really think about if you watch them old games, even when they clean it up, it's still like, damn, that's what the fuck we was looking at. You know what I'm saying? I think, and like more cameras, camera phones, social media. Like, I just think we catch more of it now than we did back in the day. I do agree that some of it is just like bad officiating. Because most of the officials that I grew up watching, them niggas was officials for almost as long as I was watching basketball. You know what I mean? Them niggas was around a long time, some for better, some for worse. But I think we're more knowledgeable sports fans now. You know what I'm saying? We got better shit to view, like better lenses to view all of this through. You know what I mean? Than we did all of those years ago. And I think we also, just in a general sense, as in society, we just more critical of everything. But that don't mean they don't be on bullshit though.
I mean, I did see him just elbow hip check the shit out of Joker a couple weeks ago, and didn't
no
the
call.
foul ended up still being on Joker for pushing him. After he had just took an elbow to the motherfucking like belt area, and if you ever been hit right there in that belt area, that shit hurt. And to take an elbow right there, so I understood why he pushed them, but for them to say that they didn't see that first elbow was I don't know, but you might be right though, like that, like with the 8K and everything. But I don't want to take the flow from Mike and Rob.
Well, go ahead, Mike.
The only call I can think of where people debate it to this degree was, the James Harden step back if it was a travel. That's the only other thing I can think of that's been as talked about. Well, maybe more.
Euro step. Euro step.
I was just about to
Euro
say
step was
the Euro step in.
Yeah,
because it was a whole different rhythm. It was a whole different rhythm than the game we was used to.
Yeah. So I that's the only thing I can think of that's been in this realm towards your question. But in terms of like calls, no calls, and stuff like that, I can't really think of one, honestly. And just the flow of the game is so different now. Like, to Will's point, when you go to a game, things are different. They're a lot faster. Because, I believe that TV has a delay, if I'm not mistaken.
It does.
Of like 6 or 7 seconds or something like that. So when you look at that, but when you're there, it's different. And this is just real bad because now the league is taking notice. Like, a lot of people notice stuff, but it's noticeable, and you got color commentators saying it out loud. Like, like it's really, really rough. But I can't think of, other than that Euro step that was, people say it was a travel. Or not. There's nothing else I can think of offhand for some, that I've seen. But this is rough. This is really getting a lot of attention and a lot of a lot of talk on it.
Mm-hmm.
When
Yeah.
you got a commentator and Doris Burke sitting out there saying what she said in that live presser, like that says a lot. Cause you damn near risking your job saying something like that. You know what I'm saying, on the
Mhm.
live air game.
But
But
that's
I
all.
give it to Rob.
I'm sorry, Raj, real quick. A long time you had company men, you know what I mean, calling games, and they didn't necessarily want them, you know what I mean, whether a ref made a bad call or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it was company men, especially when you're talking about when most people was watching games on local TV. They was all homers, you know. So
Yeah, and you know what? To add to that, don't be surprised if they don't snatch Doris Burke on the next national game. They'll tell her watch her mouth. Nah. With that being said, yeah, James Harden is probably the only athlete that I remember in the NBA that they had to kind of like review how he did his moves. You know, his step back, his Euro step, everything. You know what I'm saying? His foul baiting. Like I remember when James Harden was on his MVP run. Like I want to say a year or two before that, it was like crazy. He was getting crazy calls. You know what I'm saying? Like it was ridiculous. And that's when I saw that, I was like, yeah, he's gonna get the MVP soon. Because I already knew how the NBA how they like put stuff together. Because I'm like, they're allowing him to get away with literally grabbing somebody's arm and pulling them in for a foul versus somebody that is doing like a bump and they get called for charge. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of them things where you're like, this guy's literally going in the line for two points again. And he was foul baiting like crazy a year or two before he got his MVP award. And then when he got his MVP, he was still doing it, but we knew that James Harden was kind of changing how players played the game. Because before that, a lot of players didn't do the foul bait game. They was flopping, like there was players flopping and falling on the ground, like LeBron was notorious for that because he was taking kind of like a soccer approach. But James Harden literally grabbing somebody's arm and pulling them into a foul, that was crazy. So
Yeah,
SGA,
Trey Young used to do it too. He would hit the free
yeah,
throw area and wait for you to kind of like try to catch up to him
yep,
because you behind him, and then he kind of
yeah,
jump
do the
into
bump,
you and throw it up, and
yeah.
which
I
is
mean,
like
and that's
that shit whack, bro. I'm
and
sorry.
I and I, and I and,
It's
but
smart, but it's whack as
it's
hell.
whack as
When
hell.
you got that much talent, like, come on, man.
But I honestly, all right, now, not trying to defend Trey Young, but somebody as small of stature as he is, he got to find ways to score. You know what I'm saying?
But you
And-
passing up a wide open shot to try to, you know what I'm saying? You already open. But
yeah,
you passing up that shot to allow somebody to run into the back of you to flail and throw
yeah.
it up and hold and one.
But what better wide open shot than a free throw? You know what I'm saying? Like that's
I
easy too.
guess.
That's a guarantee too. So what I'm saying is somebody like SGA who's like 6'5", 6'6", and as skilled as he is, we like, man, stop that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Stop that elbow in the chest kind of, because they're gonna call him out, and then I guarantee the players that they're gonna be more or less sick of his shit during the playoffs, and they're gonna start fouling the hell
But
out of
hey, that's the thing though, Raj. I'm not really mad at the physical contact fouls when he going to get the contact
him. Right?
because I think that's a part of basketball. Some of the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
to
yeah.
ever do it, especially bigs, went for contact and stuff like that. If that's how he play, that's how he play. What I'm upset about is the LeBron type theatrical flops when you haven't even been touched.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like you,
That
it's
that that's yeah.
it's clear footage out there where dudes are like damn near a whole foot away from this dude, and
Yeah,
he flopping down to the floor, and they calling a foul, and it's like, what the fuck?
yeah.
Like if you go fuck my mind, at least put a condom on that dirty dick. Damn. Like what the fuck? Come
Yeah,
on, man.
yeah, you said that. My wife just looked over at me like, what the actual fuck?
Pause and bars.
All right,
Oh
she looked
man.
away after you said pause, but that caught her whole attention. She moved her hoodie
That was a
over and
bar.
everything.
Miss Williams, you know that was a bar. You know that was a bar.
Nah, she just went like this.
Oh man.
So we talk about the game while we're on this topic. You know, even though we're coming up on time and we only did one topic on the list, damn it, sometimes that's how the show goes. But we've done one topic on the actual list. But that's okay. That's okay. Because this one.
Hold on, I thought you had all of this. I thought, damn.
Oh, no. Well, we started with the game and then you gave that breaking news. Yeah, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Jaden,
Yeah. But it's all good. It's all good. But I want to at least get to this and Pat Beverly as well. I showed y'all the video of Richard Jefferson losing his mind about the game of basketball itself. I don't know when that happened, but it came across TikTok, and I just figured it was a topic we can have a discussion about. But I don't know if all you guys watched it, but for the audience, Richard Jefferson on a post game was really, really critical about Adam Silver, open to the idea of lowering the amount of games in a season from 82. There's no specification onto how many less they would do, but he went on a tangent talking about some of the highlights that I remember offhand was load management, rest days, how they have with technology and everything, how medical, how they have more access to certain medical things to help this, rest days were in there. I did say that. And there was just so much. I can't even remember it all. But I want to know.
He was basically saying, how much coddling do they have
there
to
we
do
go.
to
Thank you.
codify this new era of, this new generation of players.
Thank you. That's the word he used. I just couldn't find it. So, Raj, I want you to start. What is your thought? Because you shook your head too. What is your thought on the potential idea of lowering it from 82 to whatever they think? What are your thoughts?
Gentlemen, we are on the cusp of Adam Silver being fired. Okay? And I'm glad. I'm so glad this is happening. If he lowers the number any lower than 82 games, I promise you there's going to be a protest. Because here's the problem. You already have changed how basketball was played even 2 decades ago. Now you're trying to change the game from how it was the whole entire time. If my memory serves me correct, since the beginning of the NBA being the NBA with the merger, right? Hasn't it been 82 games the whole entire time, except the lockout season?
No.
Okay, how many games?
Shit. Off the top of my head, I think it was maybe 70 something, like in the 60s, 72 games. And as they added more teams, you know what I mean? Games got added. I think it got to 80 at one point. And then I think after the merger, maybe it went to 82, something like that.
Okay.
I got it. The NBA officially adopted the 82 game regular season in the 1967-1968 season. This change coincided with the addition of the San Diego Rockets, Seattle Supersonics to the league. Prior to this, the season length gradually increased from 80 games in 61-62 to 81 games in 66-67.
Okay. So with that being said, right, from the time that the NBA was worth watching, let me correct myself, worth watching, right, from the 1980s, because we know them dudes was on cocaine, beer, and cigarettes back in those days.
They was still on that shit in the 80s.
Yeah, they was really on
in the 80s. And them niggas was smoking squares at halftime. Like literally. They
was going to the locker room smoking. But look, my point is, since the 1980s, since the Jordan era, it's been 82 games. And now they're talking about adding more teams, but we're going to reduce the amount of games. Get the hell out of here with that. Adam Silver, you literally have tried everything to destroy the NBA, and you're almost there. You're almost there because you added in the play-in, which I think is okay. It's not good, but it's okay, right? But it's terrible because now teams are still tanking. You fixed the lottery to be such a joke that you're allowing these teams to tank as much as possible instead of having it where it's even for all 14 teams to go out here and get a number one pick. You might as well put the frozen envelope out because this is exactly what the NBA is looking like. It's looking like a big joke. And I can't believe that he's talking about reducing the games. 65 games is required to be played if you want any type of like what is it? All-Star award? Not All-Star, All NBA,
All NBA.
and all these trophies, right? You got to play 65, but they're going to reduce the game. So now players are going to play 45 games. Get the hell out of here, Adam Silver. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's when you have too much time on your hands and too much money on your hands. You start making stuff up.
Yeah, like it makes sense, like for you to feel that way because you want guys to play 65 games, but yet you want to now reduce the game number.
Exactly. And keep in mind, 2 teams are being added by 2028. So what they're gonna play each other one time a year?
Yeah, that just don't add up. I just think with with everything going on with the NBA and everything that's been said, them lowering the game amount is, and they're still going to take their rest days and they're still going to do this and that, and injuries are still going to occur because you can't take those out of the game, right? No. But this is just crazy. Like, someone was saying a while ago, I don't remember who, but it was a while ago, a couple years, about reducing it to 72 down from 82. And I'm just like, I just don't understand how we got here. What has changed so much that you want to play less games, that you don't want to give it your all, and then
they want more money,
right? And then you start looking at other things, right? Like like the NFL adds games, right? And they added a playoff team. Regardless, that makes it easier for records to be obtained. And and now it's the same thing, but it's going the other direction. It's going to make it harder for certain records and feats and things of that nature to be hit. But I don't personally like it. I don't agree with it. I just think that, listen, if you're healthy, get your ass out there, play the game, play 82 if you can. If you are hurt and you can only play 60, fine. 40, you tear your ACL, miss a season, so be it. We know this comes with the game. But to me, it's just like Richard Jefferson said, it's coddling. And they should Adam Silver should be ashamed of himself. And one more thing before I let R&B or Will go, whoever wants to go. Adam Silver, if you ever do watch this, can you change those fucking NBA Cup courts, please?
Especially the red ones.
The red. Oh my God, please! Like just the bright colors. Like you can keep the cup because you ain't gonna take it away. I don't care about that anymore. But just change make them just regular colors. So my eyes. Every time I watch a Cup game, I get a headache because it's so bright. So I don't even watch it because it's just like, I can't. It's so bright. It really gives me a headache, bro. It's crazy. So whoever wants to.
I'm going to say this. Obviously, there's been players in the NBA that, wasn't really gamers. You know what I mean? Was just there for the check or whatever the case may be. It didn't have a problem. You know what I mean? Actively trying to seek games off. But load management as a construct, as an ideology, as a method of operation within your basketball organization is a ownership leadership thing. This it's not just these players are different. These owners are different. A lot of the teams in the NBA have been sold in this younger ownership that is really data driven. So whether it's the analytics, they are all about the data. And for a lot of these owners, the data suggests that, you know what I mean, you rest these players and you don't, play such and such players on back to backs, and it makes sense for like Wemby. I understand why the Spurs are very, very careful with Wemby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You ain't supposed to be able to even fucking move like he moved at 7'3". You know what I mean? You really got to be cautious with him. We already seen some, injury issues with him. I feel like it's really only a problem when it comes to the all NBA caliber players, but that's also the biggest investments. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I understand why ownership tries to protect it. Does it make for the best product? No, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? But these, when you signing $300 million contracts for motherfuckers, $200 million contracts for motherfuckers, like I get them trying to protect their investment. I would appreciate it if more of our, again, all NBA caliber players were just like, no, fuck that, I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I would be one of them dudes that if I had the luxury of playing in the NBA, I'm trying to play 82 every year. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Because that's just, the way I'm wired or whatever. But I don't really think they're trying to. I think Adam Silver works for the owners. The owners don't want to take games off the schedule because that means them losing revenue. You know what I'm saying? I really think this is Adam Silver trying to figure out a way to bargain through the media with his owners, because he can't go to them and tell them, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's the commissioner, he works for them. You know what I mean? They don't work for him. So he can't go just say, look, motherfucker, this is what the fuck y'all need to do. I think this is him kind of using the media to try to negotiate, you know what I'm saying, with these owners and get a certain kind of reaction so that they understand that this ain't really something that we can, you know what I mean, lean into.
Mhm.
Um, and again, it don't make sense if you are, you know what I mean, incentivizing players by, making it a certain amount of games that you got to play to make though to reach these, you know what I mean, goals, to get these certain kinds of contracts, to get these supermax contracts and all of that. But then you take games away. Like it don't make sense. It don't make sense. I don't really see it actually happening. And I think that was Raj that made the point too about them. You about to add two teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you already about to have to move, somebody to the east from the west, and make you, you don't. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't see it happening.
All right. What about you, R&B?
I'm gonna be short with it so we can get to the next subject. For the time constraints, I just say leave well enough alone, man.
Are you muted,
I
bro?
agree with.
No, I can
Can
hear
y'all hear
him.
me?
I care.
I can hear you.
I can't hear.
Tell him he probably got to go out and go back in. He might
Try to
have to
go.
go out and come back in.
Try and go out and come back in.
But like I say, I agree with some of what Will was saying. That that like when it comes to investments and paying a player 300 million and shit like that, but you also have to understand as well, just as well as those owners are playing that player 300 million. It's a reason that they're able to pay that player that 300 million.
Mhm.
The NBA comes before anything else. The shield.
Mhm.
The NBA has to make a certain amount in order to be able for the owner to be able to pay that player a certain amount. So you know what I'm saying, we also have to look at that aspect of it as well. You know what I'm saying? Like that they're gonna look at it, the NBA got to make that money too. So at the end of the day, it's for me though. I just say leave well enough alone. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it at 82, man. I just don't really see no sense of, you know what I'm saying, taking it down. Like it just play the games, man. Play the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, so Patrick Beverly. Let me say something before I even get into what he said. Like, there's certain players who they're not quite on the hatred I have for Draymond, but they're real close.
Mm-hmm.
They're real close. Lance Stevenson was one of those guys. He was funny, but damn, did he get on my nerves. Blowing in LeBron's ear and shit. Like, come on, bro. What, he gay? Blowing in another man's ear? Like, come on. I'm blowing a man's ear. Like,
Oh,
but heavy pause. I really wish Cam had his podcast when he did that. Because good and damn well, he would have been blowing up his spot. And then Patrick Beverly's there too. And like it used to like get me like aggravated. Like one year he said like he got like eliminated from the playoffs, and then he's on First Take. Like, what are you doing there, bro? Nobody likes you. Why are you there? I'm like, oh my God. And then Stephen A asked him how his mama doing. No, we don't like his mama either. She gave birth to him. No offense. I'm going to hell. I don't even care. I don't even care.
wow.
Like,
Wow.
Yo, we
I'm feeling some kind of way.
bro.
That shit is personal.
listen, but just for the record, I like the two of
How
them
long you
more.
been married, Mike?
Hey, Mike say as a staff, as a label, and as a motherfucking crew.
I'm just trying to figure out which one of his ex-girlfriends Patrick Beverly hit before he met his wife.
That was hard.
Something.
But Patrick Beverly said that James Harden is a better player than Dwayne Wade.
Oh.
And it's not even close. You're talking about a player that can score it, a player that can get to the free throw line, a player that can pass it out of a pick and roll. A lot of people were going under on D Wade pick and rolls. I ain't even going to front. You feel me? A lot of people were letting D Wade have that. R&B, go for it.
Baby. I brought this subject to the table, gentlemen. And this is one that I'm about to switch the whole angle where y'all think I really wanted to go with this. First of all, he's entitled to feel any way he wants to feel. That's his opinion.
Facts.
That's his opinion.
Yeah.
He did play the game. He did play against both of them. That's his opinion. We all know D Wade wasn't the best jump shooter. That is a fact. He wasn't horrible, but he wasn't the best. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. But me personally, I take Dwayne Wade over James Harden for other reasons. Dwayne Wade was a hell of a defender. He was always one of the top guards when it came to steals per game throughout his, especially in his heyday before the injuries and stuff like that. He was known for picking one off, going the other A looking like AI, picking off a passing lane and yamming that bitch on somebody or just yamming it, period. But I digress because that's not where I wanted to go with this, because I watched D Wade's response as well. And he sat up and he had said, you know what I'm saying, I feel like if I'm better than you, or you not better than me, I'm paraphrasing, then you can't talk about me, don't even mention me. If you're not, on my level or whatever. And this is what I'm tired of. Goalpost moving. It's been all this talk about all this new media and shit like that, right? Right? So first, people like us, you know what I'm saying, or the Stephen A's of the world, the Max Kellerman, anybody, ESPN, Fox, whatever the case may be, sports
Right.
analysts, beat writers, whatever the case may be, podcasters, aspiring podcasters, so on and so forth. What do they always tell us? Y'all don't know what y'all talking about because y'all didn't play the game. No, you have no right to speak on certain things because you didn't play the game. So you don't know. Which is why we have more athletes now, you know what I'm saying, per se jumping in this field because they played the game. So they know. But they also jump in this field because they want to protect certain things and they want to move the goalposts. And the reason I wanted to discuss this is because where's it going to go next? Because Patrick Beverly did play the game. He did play against D Wade. He did play against James Harden. I think we all can sit here and collectively agree that throughout the tenure of his career, even dating back to college, he was always known for being a pretty damn good guard defender. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he was. I would say he was probably one of the greats. No, I'm talking about Patrick Beverly. I would probably say he's one of the greats of his era. You know what I'm saying? Would I say an overall great? No. But of his era, Patrick Beverly was one of the great, defending point guards. So what I'm getting at is that, okay, if we can't say shit because we don't know because we didn't play the game, then now we moving the goalpost to say a motherfucker who did play the game can't say shit just because they're not better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's his opinion. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, this culture is just like so fucking weird, bro. Because it's always gonna be a new thing, a new goalpost. So okay, we all know LeBron is better than D Wade. So what if LeBron came out and said some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I feel like I'm a better dunker or whatever the case may be. Then what's gonna be the new goal? Is he gonna have something to say about that? Is it gonna be a goalpost thing when it comes to that? So it's like I'm just tired of the goalposts moving. Like nobody can have an opinion without, you know what I'm saying, somebody feeling not even feeling. I understand in order for them to do what they do, they have to have a certain level of confidence and bravado, so they take that shit personally, especially when you play it at the level of a D Wade. I believe they take that shit personally. So I'm not saying that he shouldn't feel some type of way about it or that he ain't gonna have nothing to say about it. That's obvious, you know what I'm saying? If Will told me he met a motherfucker at his job that can sing better than me, I'ma feel a way about it because Will know I can fucking sing. You know what I'm saying? But like, well, what is nigga at? Let's battle then. But at the same time, Will is entitled to that opinion. And Will is somebody who I respect his ear because he loves music the same way I love music. So what I'm saying is that, okay, Patrick Beverly clearly was never in the same breath as a player at D Wade, but he did play the game. And he played it longer than D Wade, barring injuries. But he played the game, and he's had some pretty good moments playing the game. I think he's somebody that you can respect him enough that if he has something to say, it may be some type of legitimacy to it. We ain't talking about some scrub ass nigga that never played minutes, you know what I'm saying, that never touched the floor. Like Patrick Beverly was a serviceable defending point guard. It could get you a couple buckets, could get you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's Patrick Beverly. So all I'm saying is I wanted to have this discussion because I want to know how y'all feel about the constant goal post moving. It's somebody always trying to move the goalpost. Why can't we just have a conversation? Where y'all at on that?
In terms of the Pat Beverly, or you mean just how they change the narrative to fit a certain conversation?
I'm basically talking about D Wade's response of saying like, okay, well, he was never better than me, and if you're not better than me, then you can't say nothing about me. So it's like, okay, not like that. What I'm saying is like us as pundits, we can't say nothing because we never played the game. So now somebody that did play the game is saying, have an opinion about something, and now, oh well, he can't say shit because he was never better than me. That it's a constant moving of the goalposts.
Well, I'll say this first. I just want to say that in terms of him saying Harden is better than D Wade is legendary, nasty work. To me, Dwayne Wade is the third greatest shooting guard of all time, and his credentials speak for themselves.
They do,
That,
but if James Harden had one championship, you can't tell me it's not an argument. That's
but he
all it
does,
takes for him is one championship.
but he doesn't.
So all I'm saying is that for somebody to feel that way is not crazy. It's not
No,
beyond the realm for
Oh,
somebody to feel Harden is better.
hey, at this point with Harden, I got a caveat. Not just one championship. He got to ball out. You know what I mean? Over
Yeah,
that playoff
he got to
run.
ball out.
He can't. He can't.
He got to
He
ball out.
can't be riding the bus. He got to be one of the drivers. He don't have to be the driver. You know what I'm saying?
just one of them. Yeah,
You know what I mean? That matters.
absolutely. But go
Because
ahead,
D
Rod.
Wade did
Go
both,
ahead.
so I agree with that.
Go ahead, Rod. You were gonna say something.
I want to say this. And I'm gonna try to be as short as possible with it.
No worries.
But D Wade grew up on the south side of Chicago, and Pat Beverly grew up in the west side of Chicago. So that's some Chicago shit. That's the rivalry he has. So yes, you're entitled to your own opinion, but I also feel like some of this is kind of hate. You know what I'm saying? Because all this all stems from back in the days when D Wade was making his name out there in high school, and Pat Bev tried to follow up with the same type of motion. So I think there's a little hate in there too. You know what I'm saying? Because even though he might really feel this way about James Harden, I also feel like he don't really rock with D Wade like that. Because of the Chicago beef that they used to have back in the days. With that being said, Pat Bev's worried about the wrong shit. Pat Bev need to worry about his chain getting snatched from Jay Will and Barstool. He got his whole show taken away. Okay? So he's worried about the wrong thing. And at this point, his opinion really don't matter because he does things just to get hot takes. Now, if it was somebody like, let's say, I don't know, Chris Paul saying, that James Harden is better than D Wade, I might consider that because James Harden is good, but yet we know that Chris Paul played with James Harden. We also know that Chris Paul is a Hall of Fame type player. Now, I'm not saying, oh, well, you got to be on an echelon to even speak on it, but Pat Bev is a dude he's a certified hater. He called Chris Paul a cone when it comes down to defense. He said he's a traffic cone when it comes down to defense. That shit is ultimate disrespect. I don't care.
Nigga put hands on Chris Paul.
Yeah, he did.
So my point is,
So
yeah, go ahead.
I think we missing the point. I'm cool with, what I'm saying, your opinions of Patrick Beverly and all of that shit, but the point that I'm trying to get from y'all is the goalpost moving. Because again,
right,
if we can't say nothing as people who never played the game, but then people who have played the game say something and it's still a problem, where are we going with this media period?
Well, to answer that question, the goalpost is always going to change because if we even get the opportunity to play professionally, they're going to be like, "Oh, you just had a cup of coffee in the league. Oh, you wasn't an all-star. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna say all this shit that really doesn't matter. You played in the G League. They're always gonna move the goalposts. So as people that's in the media, what we can combat it with is, hey, you didn't take no type of media training. How about that? So the goalpost is gonna move no matter what. But what I'm saying is there's certain takes that are just outrageous. And that's an outrageous take. James Harden's better than D Wade as a scorer? Come on now.
He is a better scorer than D Wade. Are you tripping?
Look, like I said,
again, if James Harden was able to, if James Harden could go win the championship this year with Cleveland, that would bolster him in the argument as far as being the third greatest shooting guard of all time. Are we missing something here?
Once again, everybody's
And that's
entitled
no
to their
disrespect to D Wade. No disrespect to D Wade. But
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade
Dwayne
carried
Wade
the
got
team.
3 championships, bro.
Exactly.
A championship for Harden don't jump him
But
into number 3 for me.
No, me either.
I
And
said,
that's what I'm saying.
I said it's a discussion. I
Nah,
didn't
not
say
for
it's
me.
but
definite.
Not for me. Not for me. And I'm gonna tell you why.
I think we sitting up here acting like it's crazy for somebody, and let's take Pat Bev out of the equation.
No, but
We acting like it's crazy for somebody to think that James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade, and I just don't see, how. Let's
let
championship and
Rod,
all that out the equation.
let Raj finish because that's the I have my chance to speak
I
on
want
it.
to just
So
land my plane real quick. I just want to land my plane real quick. I want to say this. Yes, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And yes, the goalposts are going to constantly move depending on who's saying it and how they're saying it, right? However, there's some takes that are good takes, and there's some takes that are outrageous takes. That is an outrageous take. And the reason why I'm saying it's an outrageous take is simply because D Wade have carried teams. He's got championships behind him. If he's a better scorer or not, I'm taking D Wade every single time. If they're lined up on a playground and they said, who you got, James Harden or D Wade? I'm taking D Wade. Prime Wade over prime freaking Harden there's no discussion. And that's an outrageous take by Pat Bev, and it's because he's a hater. That's my take on
it. That's crazy. Oh man.
Raj kind of stole my thunder, but I was gonna say the same thing. Goalpost is always moving. You know what I'm saying? The older generations move for the younger generations. The next generation ain't never gooder, ain't never better, ain't never good. You know what I mean? Like it's just goalpost is always moving. As far as Pat Bev and D Wade go, I don't even think like it's. I'm not looking at it the way you looking at it, bro. As far as him saying like Pat Bev said, not only did he say James Harden was better, he said it ain't really close. You know what I'm saying? Again, I keep coming back to this shit. What you say out in this fucking media space, you know what I mean? When motherfuckers is listening, it matters. It matters how you say it. So when Pat Bev said what he said, that Dwayne Wade was basically like, well, that nigga ain't fucking with me no way, so it don't matter what he got to say. That's the way I took that. I don't think that Dwayne Wade feels like nobody that's, you know what I mean, on his level in the Hall of Fame, you know what I mean, those people are not allowed to have, you know what I mean, opinion about his game. Because if you felt that way, then he would probably be saying that about a lot, you know what I mean, a lot of motherfuckers out here. I think that was a him and Pat Bev thing. You know what I'm saying? Pat Bev said some slick shit. Dwayne Wade said some slick shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's what it was. And, you know, shit, these players, when they talking to each other, not like, you know what I mean, doing a fucking interview or a media spot, you know what I mean, doing the car wash at ESPN. Like, when they talking to each other, this is how they talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they talk their shit. So I think it's more of that. I don't think it was, you know, like a wholesale indictment of anybody who's less than his caliber of basketball player. You know what I mean? And they right to have an opinion about his game. I don't think that was what it was. I think that was him shooting his shot back at Pat Bev. You know what I'm saying? Fuck is this nigga? I think that's what it was.
Well, I'll also say, when it comes to the narrative, I always believe that in any conversation, someone's going to change the narrative to fit the point they want to make. Now, to me, you're never going to get rid of that. People are always going to change the narrative.
That's a female trait.
You're not lying.
it.
Not lying. But it's also a media trait, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone in the media changes the narrative of just to fit the point for that discussion. So I believe you'll never get rid of that narrative changing. But for the argument of this conversation, I do believe that there would be a discussion that James Harden could go up there higher. I don't know personally if I'd put him at 3. I wouldn't. I don't. I'm up for a healthy debate about that if he were to make that happen. But the thing about it is, the thing about it with Harden is, what's he most memorable for?
Choking in the playoffs.
Yep.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Oh.
That's the biggest issue he has. And it started early in his career. That early OKC team, when they went in there against Miami, to me, my opinion, they had a better chemistry as a team. I thought they could have I knew the Heat would win, but I thought they could have dragged them to at least 6 games. And I remember during that series in Game 5, obviously that debate that decided the series, that I forget who was doing the interviewing for OKC, and they were just kind of acting like it was another game. They didn't have the mental state to understand, like, this is do or die. This is Game 7 the rest of the way for us. James Harden disappeared. Even, he was coming off the bench. He disappeared. And he went to Houston. Phenomenal regular seasons. But when it came to the nitty-gritty, he just couldn't get it done. Even when you're up 3-2 on Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, I understand Chris Paul goes down, but you're the guy. Now, you got to figure that out. You got to figure out a way to turn that L into a W. And, like you said, then we're having another discussion. But I just think that for James Harden, that championship will elude over his head unless he gets what me and Raj call that Gary Payton. And there's no disrespect to Gary Payton when he won in 06 with the Heat. But at that point in his career, he was no longer the guy, which brings me to what Will said. Will wants to see him, like he said, he ain't got to lead the ship now, but you have to be at least a leader of some sort, not just slide on. Yeah, don't slide on. Don't slide on and just win and be like, I did it. You have to do something. So
although we would have celebrated T Mac if he won with the Spurs back in the day.
No, I definitely wouldn't have celebrated that shit. Celebrate no Spurs championships.
Listen,
Fuck the Spurs.
The year that Denver won recently, before the season started, Carmelo was talking about signing back there just to play his last year in Denver, and he never did it. I don't even give a damn. I would have celebrated it. Whether he could have sat on the bench the whole season. Damn it, Melo deserved better.
Facts.
But that's just my take on that. That's.
Hey, I say, man, I think if James Harden within these, while he's still playing at the level that he's playing at, if he could pull away 2 championships right within the next 3-4 years, something like that. I'm not saying that I think he'll do it. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to give him a pathway here. I think if something like that were to happen, I think it could be a stronger argument, man. That's just my opinion, though. I think it would be a strong argument between him and Dwayne Wade, because Dwayne Wade got 3 championships, and his biggest credit would be the first one with Shaq when he did what he did to Dallas. Then we all know the second one was, the second and third was the big 3, and the third of the 3, he was barely
hurt.
The big 3. It was really the big 2 in the crew. It'd be like Bosh and Bron and the crew, but because D Wade wasn't the same D Wade, so that's why I say I feel like if Harden could at least because if you take the championships out of it, you know what I'm saying, which is hard to do. he got a strong case, and I know D Wade had an injury riddled career like that probably like the middle of his prime to tail end there. He wasn't the same D Wade no more, but I'm sorry, I can't do nothing about that. I can't do nothing about the fact that he couldn't play at the same level no more. Harden is not playing at the same level that he was playing in Houston anymore, but he's still a 20 plus and 10 guy at this point in his career. So with the longevity and the stats, if he was to add a couple championships to that, I'm not definitively saying that he automatically jumped D Wade, but I'm not gonna look at nobody crazy for wanting to have an argument, just like I wouldn't look at nobody crazy for wanting to have an argument that he's just a better player. I don't agree, but I wouldn't look at nobody crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Look,
we talking about a dude that like them Houston years was, and he had some horrible playoff moments. Don't get me wrong, but he also did a lot of shit to get them to them horrible playoff moments as well. It's just that we remember the biggest moments because that's where he failed the most at.
but again, bro, to whom much is given, much is expected, right? Like that's the whole thing. You're right. It's not that I think anybody's crazy for having that conversation. It's not that.
Yeah.
But again, for me, if I'm judging him against them kind of guys, that's part of the criteria. That's part of the resume. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of people who elevated their resumes for rising to them occasions come playoff time. Who, you know what I mean? Playoff
Mm-hmm.
numbers is always better. And I'm not talking about even necessarily all like all-time great players. You know what I mean? But like the Manus, you know what I'm saying? Like Manu was what, a 15, 16 point a night guy. You know what I mean? Always important, always all-star caliber. But in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? He raised his game every year. When
Yeah.
you get to a certain level of player, like that shit matter. And when you do way more of the, you know what I'm saying? You did all that work just to fuck it off in the playoffs. Like when you do that shit over and over again, like it's kind of hard to get that stink off of you, man.
Yeah.
That nigga could, like, I'll be honest with you, he could score 10,000 more points if he don't
Mm-hmm.
get, like, you know, for me, at least a championship where he again one of the like kind of like, you know, he the second best player in Cleveland right now. I could make the argument he the best
Yeah.
player, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
get him one of them, and then another one he's just like a really high level contributor. Then I would have that conversation. But I ain't saying nobody crazy for wanting to have the conversation. It's just all them playoff failures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Really, really
Yeah,
matter,
for sure.
man.
He gotta win it. He gotta win it. He
Yeah.
gotta win.
Yeah.
He gotta
And I
bring the
don't
chips
look.
home.
I don't even hold the OKC one against them at all because they was really kind of ahead of schedule. Good as they were, coach, like they was so fucking young. You know what I'm saying? Playing against the Heat. You know what I'm saying? On a fucking revenge tour and shit. Like I look at that one like LeBron losing to San Antonio the first time he got to the finals. Like, you know what I mean? You kind of got there before we even thought you would.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, you know, a lot of people like don't understand. Like people like say, oh, you know, he lost. Well, yeah, he lost. But like, let's be honest. All the other teams didn't do their job that year and he got there. Like, you know, like it counts for something. Yeah, he got swept. We get that, but you know, it's just, you know, same thing. OKC, like you said, was ahead of schedule. They got that gentleman sweep, you know. Well, gentlemen, we are
We gonna get these Power Forward lists out the way real quick, or we gonna delay
bro.
it again?
I don't have one. I didn't make one. So do all
Oh,
three
man.
of you have one?
Yeah, I got one.
I got one.
I'll grade again. Let's do, and I'll write your list down, and then I'll just grade again. Hold on, give me a second. Let me just.
We gonna do this quick.
Yeah, let's do it quick.
All right. Wait, hold on. All right. Go ahead.
All right, go. You go first, R&B.
All right, we keep that order then. Let's keep it to L. Me, Raj, Will.
Yep. That's cool.
Honorable mentions, real quick: Powell, AD, Chris Bosh, Chris Webber, LaMarcus Aldridge. Number 10, Dennis Rodman.
I gotta agree with it. Number 10, I got Dennis Rodman.
Honorable mentions: Rodman, Draymond, AD. Number 10, I got a tie. Powell and Amari.
Number 9, Elvin Hayes.
Number 9, I hate to do this, man, because he's a Boston guy. Kevin McHale, but the championships and all-star appearances. So, Kevin McHale.
Number 9, I got Chris Bosh. Could have been higher on the list if he ain't had a blood clots.
Number 8, I got Draymond Green.
Surprisingly, number 8, I got Anthony Davis. If it wasn't for him being AD always Dame, he would have been higher.
Number 8, I got C-Wed, Chris Webber.
Number 7, I got the automatic bucket, Kevin McHale.
This really pains me. I gotta say it, but number 7, I got Draymond Green.
Number 7, fuck Boston. I got Kevin McHale, torture chamber. Possibly the most underrated power forward ever.
Facts.
Yeah. Number 6, I got the round mound rebound, Charles Barkley.
Number 6, I mean, I never watched him play live, but I watched a lot of his tapes. Bob Pettit.
Number 6, got the Greek freak, Giannis.
Number 5, Karl Malone.
Number 5, even though he had 11 All-Star appearances and only one championship, I got to give it to him. I got KG, Kevin Garnett.
At 5, fuck Utah, fuck him. I got Karl Malone.
Number 4, I got Dirk Nowitzki.
Number 4, I mean, I'm not a fan of his at all, but I got to respect the MVPs and All-Star appearances and all NBAs. I give it to Charles Barkley, Sir Charles.
Number 4, I got Dirk Diggler.
This shit gonna shock y'all. This top 3. Number 3, well, not really, but somewhat. Number 3, I got Kevin Garnett.
Number 3, I got Dirk.
Number 3, I got Chuck.
Number 2, I got the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, I do.
Number 2, I got Karl Malone.
Number 2, I got KG.
Please tell
Number
me all
1,
y'all. Please
5
tell me all y'all number
time
1
champ, MVP, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
I think that's like the
Automatic.
only. That's one of them things I'm not about to argue with nobody. We can't even. You try to tell me he ain't Tim, we can't even talk. And fuck the Spurs.
Because I'm gonna tell you, because if anyone had Duncan lower than 1, they was getting an F. A straight F. A straight F.
He almost went number 2. But I thought about the 5 championships and said, nah, I can't do that.
So
I think the reason I be so disappointed in AD is because I saw Tim Duncan do so much more with so much less than what AD do.
Yeah,
I think that's why I be so frustrated with him. Maybe that's why I hold him to the standard I do.
No, I
Be frustrated with AD, and the reason he didn't make my list is because he just can't stay on the fucking court. And when he is on the court, he spent more time trying to play like a small forward than the damn power forward center.
I hear you.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro.
There's
Well,
no way him and LeBron shouldn't have had more success with the Lakers during that tenure together. Even with him being hurt the way he was hurt, because the playoffs he played. You know what I'm saying? He didn't miss the playoffs. He played in the playoffs. So you got out there, I gotta hold it against you.
That's facts.
But the reason I thought y'all was gonna kind of be like, what the hell? But I put Giannis at number 2. I think Giannis is played his way into being the second greatest power forward of all time, and still got a chance to state that case even more, depending on what happened with this trade. Because I just respect his championship a lot, man. I respect that championship in Milwaukee that he brought there. That was a throwback championship right there.
Hey, I got a question.
mhm.
And I'm not saying that Giannis don't show up in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because Giannis ball, but is Giannis James Harden with a championship? Because he got a lot of early
Why you say
exits.
that?
Outside of that championship year. I think ain't been out the first round in what, 3 years, 4 years, some shit like that.
You're not even in the playoffs this season.
And before they won the championship, like he's lost to teams that he wasn't supposed to lose to how many times in the playoffs? He lost to the lower seed a bunch of times in the playoffs. Like outside of that championship run, I don't think he ever outside of that's the only time he been even in the Eastern Conference finals. So he got a lot of first round losses and some second round losses to some teams that they were supposed to have been better than. That year Miami went to the finals and lost to the Lakers, right? Wasn't Milwaukee the number 1 seed and lost to Miami?
Yeah.
And then who else did they lose to?
He lost to Toronto. That was with the claw.
Yeah. I'll say this. I hear what you're saying, Will, and I agree most of it, but I gotta also say he never really played with a real true all-star next to him besides Dame Lillard. Outside of that,
shit just didn't work.
I disagree with that. Drew, I feel like Drew is a true all-star. I wouldn't say like I wouldn't say all NBA, but Drew is an all-star.
But they won the championship when Drew was there.
Yeah,
and then they
right.
decided
That's what I'm saying. He had an all-star. I don't look at Chris Middleton as a true all-star. I look at Drew. I feel like Drew Holiday, his game was underappreciated in New Orleans because he was on suck-ass teams, like they was weak. When he got to Milwaukee, all the shit that he did at a high level led to a championship, like immediately for them. You know what I'm saying?
It did, and it was because of the defense. But what I'm saying is like an all-star at that time, like 2 all-stars on a team. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that you know is going to score and also play decent defense. He never played with that star outside of Dame. I mean, yes, Drew Holiday, one of the best at what he does, a two-way guard, but I can't say that he was an all-star like that, because he didn't even make the all-star team that season, if my memory serves me correct, when they won the championship.
He had been an all-star a couple times before and made it a couple times after. He done been in an all-star game like 4 or 5 times.
But was he out of his prime when he played with him?
No,
I wouldn't say so.
Okay. No, not at all.
All right. Okay.
What's wrong?
Well, real quick, I'm looked over everyone's list. Everyone gets an A today because y'all ain't pissed me off by putting Duncan lower than 1. No, and I was waiting for one of you to do it. I was waiting. I
don't think it. If Joker was a power forward, then it probably would have been Raj to get the F.
Oh, hell yeah!
But thank God he plays center.
Well, wait until the center list come out. I'm already spoiler alert.
I thought we did center list.
Did that
I thought
one
that was the first list we did.
Oh yeah, we did.
Raj want to do it again.
Yeah, because Joker's gonna be number 1 every single time.
Remember on the watch when he fired Snoop Dogg and he had to bring Dr. Dre in there and show him and shit? That's Raj with Joker. Let me rewind it back. Show it to you again. Joker. That's what
But
he
you know
gonna
what?
do.
I'll say this. I'm not the only one that feels that way. You heard what Caitlin Clark said.
Oh man, don't nobody give a fuck about that
That's
bull dacker that like dick.
hey.
Pause.
So, real quick, next week, y'all want to do a head coach list?
If any of
I
y'all
thought
put,
we did head coach.
y'all put Doc Rivers
Oh,
on
was
that
it?
damn
We
list.
did NFL
We
head.
did NFL head coaches.
We did NFL head coach.
You
Okay.
better not see
So
Doc
yeah, we
Rivers
can
on
do.
that.
And
I don't want to see no Doc Rivers.
No Doc
And-
Rivers.
I agree with Raj. I don't want to see no Doc Rivers.
and then Rod, you want to host next week?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, and then
Is
R&B.
it Sunday or are we doing Sunday or Monday?
I was just about to ask R&B. You don't work this Sunday?
Nope.
All right, so you guys cool with doing Sunday like 11:30?
It's cool with me.
All right, let's do it.
That should be cool.
All right. Well, then that's all we got for this week. You know, a little bit of a long show, but fuck it. Who cares? You know, I hope everyone has a good week. You know, we'll
They
stay
like
up.
it long.
Pause.
We again got to pause that.
That just sounded so dirty, and that laugh didn't help. So on that note, since I'm creeped out,
Look at the stands, though. Look at the stands.
Everyone have a good week. Spread love, positivity, and we will see y'all on Sunday morning for another episode of Nerd Camp. Peace.
Peace.
All right, fellas.
All right.